Hey guys, Fuad here from beattweaks.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Ableton Live's Simpler plugin or any sampling plugin that you have to take any sound, whether it's a one shot or a bass shot, a percussion shot, and turn it into pretty much anything that you want. So I'm going to show you how you can use your massive sound library to pretty much come up with an endless supply of new and interesting and creative sounds. So, I mean, it's amazing. All these one shots that you have sitting in your library, you can take them and come up with your own crazy sounds that no one else might have. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. It's really easy and it's a lot of fun. So what I have set up here is just 3 channels, and I'm going to use each one as an example. So you can see I have them labeled. The first one says kick and bass. That means we're going to be making a bass from a kick sample. The next one, we're going to be making a lead out of a kick sample. And then the third one, we're going to make a pluck or a kind of super saw lead sound using a bass shot or a bass sample. And these are all just from random sample packs that I have lying around on my computer. You can use anything that you want. That's the amazing thing about it. That's how creative and that's how massive you can get with your sound designing, and it can open up a whole new world for you in terms of your music. All right, so let's start off with making a bass from a kick. So you can see here I have a kick sample inserted into Simpler. And again, like I said, you can use any sampling plugin that you have. Most of them have the same controls and they pretty much do the same thing. All right. You might not know. Maybe the plugin that you have can do better things than this. So you never know. Okay. So let's just solo this since we're working with it for now. And I'll press the record button. So when I play something on my keyboard, okay, so it's just playing the kick. And the first thing I want to do, so we're going to make a bass line. I mean, this is using kicks to make bass lines. You can make some really wacky, dirty bass lines using kick drums. All right, so first of all, the first thing I want to do is loop is already on, but once you start off, the first thing that I want you to do is turn loop on. All right, so now if I push a button on my keyboard, it'll keep looping the sample. Now, how do we turn this into a bass line? Well, very, very easy. If you take this flag-looking thing right here, which signals the end of the waveform, you can set the length of the waveform and it will loop whatever length that you have set. All right, so if I take this all the way here, I'm just going to keep playing a key on my keyboard, and then I'll just drag this to the left. So I'm basically shortening the wavelength of the kick. Pretty crazy. All right, and then you can get different tones and different sounds just by adjusting this little thing here. All right, so the possibilities are pretty much endless. You can automate this if you wanted to and get different sounds in different sections of your song. You can do so much with this. And now what you can do is control the filter from here. So if you want to make it a little bit more bassy or you want to cut out the top end, you can do it from here. You can add resonance. You can even add an LFO here if you wanted to. So if we go to the controls section, we can add an LFO to this and make it wobble. We can make it pitch up and down. We can do so many things with this. right? So that is the LFO, and then you can control the volume amp as well, the volume amplitude from here. So you can take the sustain down if you wanted to. Make it like a plucky bass line. You can transpose it up and down. You can detune it if you wanted to. You can add glide. And there's just so many things you can do with this. And that's how easy it is. Play around with this with different kick samples. You'll get all kinds of different sounds, right? So that is our first sound, and it sounds like this. Crazy, crazy bass line. All right, so that is the first example, and that should set you up for making some wicked bass lines. All right, now in the second example, we're going to be making a lead type sound also from a kick sample, so you can see how versatile kick samples can be for your sound design. So we're pretty much going to start off the same way. We are going to shorten the length of the kick and loop it and find a spot where it loops nicely. And then we're going to mess around with all these controls so we can get a nice lead sound out of it. Okay, so I'm just going to start off, and you can watch what I'm doing, and I can explain what I did later on. So first of all, turn loop on, and like I said, we're going to shorten the sample. All right, so I've shortened this one a lot more than I shortened the other one because I'm trying to make like a lead type sound. Okay, and let's add some LFO to this. So let's go to the controls. We can add some also panning LFO to it as well. So it's like using an auto panner here. All right, that's pretty cool too. And let's transpose it up an entire octave. Crazy. All right, and let's see, what else can we play around with here? We can play around with the filter, of course. Can add some resonance to it. And you can, go crazy with effects. Let's add some reverb and delay to this as well. Why not? Let's add a reverb, ping pong delay. Let's transpose it up another octave. We can take down the LFO if we want. We can turn it off. Beautiful. That lead right there, you can make a hit song with. All right, so, and that example, making a lead from a kick sample, just a one-shot kick. And again, you can do so much with this because you can use any kick sample and you'll come up with an infinite amount of sounds because of all the little differences between all the kick samples. You can even try this with percussive samples like hats, one-shots, and so many different things. So really, really cool stuff with this. All right, so in the third example, we're going to be making a pluck or like a super saw type of lead that's great for chords and stuff like that. And we're going to do it using a bass shot sample. So the sample sounds like this. All right, so on its own, I mean, that's a pretty cool bass shot. But let's say you want to take this and run with it, do something cool with it. Well, let's try and do the same thing that we did with the other sounds, except with this one now. So let's turn loop on, and we'll shorten the sample to a nice sweet spot. All right, so right about there sounds pretty good. Let's go to the controls. And now since we want to use this for chords and maybe turn it into a pluck, let's transpose it up. Let's transpose it up. Try 1 octave. Okay, still too low. So let's take it up another octave. All right, pretty wicked. Let's give it some resonance and play around with the filter. Ridiculous. All right, so let's turn this into a pluck. Now that's going to be really cool. Let's keep the filter closed a bit because you know how when you design plucks, you close the cutoff filter and then open it up. When the filter is closed, it's a pluck. When it opens up, it's kind of a super saw sound. Well, that's pretty much what we're going to do with this. All right, so to start off doing that, first of all, LFO is not doing anything, but let's just turn it off. Just a pet peeve. Turn off the LFO if it's not doing anything. All right, let's come here to the volume amplitude section. So you've got the attack, decay, sustain, release controls here. Let's take the sustain all the way down. And then we can use the decay time to set how long of a pluck or how long of a sound it is. All right, so that's cool right there. And to further turn this into a pluck, we can come here to the filter envelope section and we can click on envelope. And then let's set the amount, filter envelope amount, to the maximum. The sustain will keep all the way down. And just like we did here in the volume amplitude section, we can use the decay to set the character of the pluck. And then when you control the frequency cutoff point, it'll change the sound of the pluck. All right, and when you open it up, all right, and if you wanted to open up into a full super saw chord, you can turn the sustain all the way back up on the volume section. All right, so a lot of controls that you can play around with. And now again, if we add some reverb and delay to this, it'll turn into a massive sounding pluck. All right, so like I said, a lot of amazing things you can do with this kind of sound designing. It's really fun. It's really easy. There's no need to go and mess around with a ton of different controls. It's just one sampling plugin, and you can go through your sound library and just when you find something that you like, a sample or anything like that, throw it in your sampler, mess around with it, and come up with sounds of your own. And you'll have other producers and other people wondering, how in the world did you come up with that sound? And you don't have to tell them. Your entire sound library is your playground, and you can use every single one shot that you have to come up with amazing sounds of your own.